Yeah, that's what they're doing.
No, actually. Okay, the meeting of the town of Morristown is called to order. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board member should have two minutes from two meetings before them. Can we have approval of both, or do they need to be done separately?
You can do it together.
Okay. Did everyone have an opportunity to review? I didn't see any of this. But for some reason I didn't get them, so.
I sent them out this afternoon after I retyped them. Chris, you got those, right? And
Yes.
I did make a couple corrections that you suggested.
See where Chris did that.
I've reviewed them, there was something I can only tell the story of our last meeting, it was a complicated story.
Hello there, how are you?
Unless anyone else wants to meet fast, we don't stop it. I was going through the document as presented.
Motion is made, we have a second, Chris checked them out. The motion is made and seconded, roll call please.
Sean,
Aye.
David, Chris,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye. We're moving to correspondence, there's Morristown recreational. Report. Any of that? Your review. With that, then we will move on to public comment. St. Lawrence County Planning Office. Who is representing? No,
I don't see him yet.
okay.
I agree. Well, sure.
Okay.
Okay, now.
You're gonna get it. Okay, and we'll move on to, I'm gonna give an update. First of all, I'd like to do a moment of silence for our departed town board member, Gary Turner, who we've lost here recently. Thank you. With that, we have an update from Tyler Jennings that should be up. Did we put it in your packet? Or did we say we wouldn't waste the food when we keep using paper?
No, you have stuff in there from Barton and LaJudas.
Okay. So you'll see in here that
But can I interrupt first?
Sure, we only wait.
Before you go through that, we have Sam from Charter Communication, and we also have Christian and Brian from Dank.
All right.
If you want to do that first.
Whoever wants to take the floor.
Hi all, Sam Parker, Director of Government Affairs for Charter Communications, the parent company of Spectrum. We're looking to renew the cable franchise agreement with the municipality. The supervisor reached out regarding the board requesting to change the term. I had sent in the initial agreement the term of 15 years. The board had suggested 5. I was going to see if we could come together to some number around 10, possibly something above 5. So the reason we do 5 would be we're in the renewal process 3 years away from when the actual franchise expires. So if you did a 5-year term, in 2 years, we begin that legal process of renewing the franchise. It's called the 626 window with the PSC. So that means we send out legal notice, we're legally negotiating the agreement the moment we send out that notice. So really, you have 2 years of the agreement being in effect. In section 15.1 of the agreement, it does say the agreement's affected by all state and local laws pertaining to cable. So if there had been a change by the PSC, the state, or the federal government as it pertains to the agreement, those changes would be reflected, or we would have to come back to the table and negotiate. So that's why we're looking for a 10-year agreement, but can entertain other numbers, and if folks have questions regarding the agreement, have to answer them.
I appreciate your. I mean, so that any questions the board members will have opportunity. I know, David, you were quite concerned about the number of years for that agreement.
I was,
Yes. Yeah, you were.
15 years is a pretty long term for a small town to be locked into something.
So you have, comment or any question?
What's the minimum of the acceptable length? As you just outlined it, I was a little confused by the numbers.
Yeah, so the minimum I think we would accept is 7. 7 is the lowest we have across the state. Preferably we do 10. 7 would mean that we're not in negotiations for 4 years. Because the 626 window starts 3 years prior to the actual expiration of the franchise. So
I continue to be confused. My instinct would be to say 7's a good offer,
okay,
and why don't we work with that? I don't think that there's any intention on the part of the board to shake this up pending further information, but it seems to me as if technology changes so rapidly these days that 15 years is making a promise beyond our ability to see.
no, understood. We would accept 7 but if there are other edits to the agreement or suggestions or questions you have regarding it, let me know, happy to answer.
I don't recall there was anything else. I can do something presented. So, is it, you want to put that in form of motion, Chris?
I would move that the board amend the proposed agreement to be for a term of 7 years.
Okay.
And that we approve the agreement otherwise as presented.
I'll second that.
So you will send us a new.
I'll send you an updated agreement,
That I can sign.
and then you will need to hold a public hearing.
Oh.
Yeah. So the next step, so you'll need to notice the
Yes.
public hearing 7 days in advance for the Public Service Commission's rules. And then at that board meeting, pass a resolution and then you.
So we.
Even though we just had a public hearing on it, so
Oh,
that's
you
where
did,
this
you had a
discussion
public hearing
came
on it?
from.
Yes,
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
sorry, I was confused. If you had a public hearing, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just pass a resolution and then sign the agreement.
As amended,
As amended.
yes.
The motion has been made and seconded.
Okay,
Roll call.
David,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye. So we will sign the amended agreement. Preston?
Yes. I'd like to apologize for my tardiness. My Google Maps was taking me all over the downtown and I couldn't figure out where the actual building was.
Now you know more stuff.
Exactly, I've actually never been here before, so you have a lovely town. I just wanted to talk to you for just a quick 5 minutes about the county septic system repair program. I have some maps right here, they're a little folded up, but I'm gonna pass them around to you all. And if you wouldn't mind, either just putting them around the town offices or anywhere around the town, just to get the word out is really what we're trying to do. This is a geography-based program specifically, meaning that there is no income qualification. The DEC has designated what they call priority water bodies, and this is really just a water quality grant. Meaning that any septic system within 250 feet of a designated priority water body is eligible for replacement funds. An eligible system is eligible for half of the replacement costs up to $10,000. 10,000 is the maximum eligibility. On those maps there, and I also have these postcards here that I'll put right here on the table. Again, feel free to grab them, pass them around, or do whatever you please with them. on those maps, we have some parcels along St. Lawrence River highlighted and along some streams that come off of the river highlighted. Those are parcels that are within 250 feet of a priority water body. However, they are not necessarily septic systems. We don't know where any septic systems are. We have just highlighted parcels that are within 250 feet. So if that parcel is yours and your septic system is either deficient or at risk of failure, then you may be within the 250-foot threshold. You may be eligible for some replacement funds. I'm just here we're trying to spread the word to all the municipalities that have priority water bodies. And I'm here to answer any questions that anyone might have. I'm not really planning on speaking for long, but if anybody has any questions, certainly feel free to ask. And,
Preston, this appears to be a program that we've had in place for some time. Is that accurate?
that is true. So it supersedes me. I've been at the county since 2023.
Yeah.
And I believe since, I want to say 2018, this program was put on by the Housing Council. That entity is since defunct. So now the county is putting it on.
Yeah.
I will say that this is also a retroactive grant. Black Lake used to be considered a priority water body. It is no longer considered a priority water body. However, if anybody along Black Lake had a septic system replaced at the time that it was a priority water body, then you guys can give us a call, fill out an application, and we could reimburse you for that as well.
Well, I can testify this is an easy program to work with.
Yeah, and actually on the postcards and the maps, we have a QR code that you can scan, and it'll bring you to a web page right off the county website, right off the county planning office web page. And it'll give you a bunch of information, a lot more than what I just gave you about the program. It has an interactive map actually, where you can look up your address and it'll tell you whether or not your parcel is within that 250-foot threshold. And then at the very bottom, it'll have an application, an electronic application that you can fill out. It'll come right to our office and then we'll send it over to the public health sanitarian and get anybody on their way if they are eligible for reimbursement.
We'd say that we probably can put this on, get this information on digital newspapers, we should have. Yeah.
And this map also is on the county website as well, on that webpage where the QR code will
Thank you.
How do they not deem Black Lake? Do you have any idea, or is that?
So my understanding is that it was initially an eligible water body, and I honestly think that just because there weren't many people who were signing up around Black Lake, they may have rescinded its eligibility. That's my understanding.
My experience with it is that a lot of people are shy about it for fear that if they inquire and they find out they do have a failed system, that they will be required to do something. And I think that's been, we're pulled back from Black Lake. All right, very good.
Thank you very much. Again, I apologize for my tardiness, but it was very wonderful seeing everyone. And if anybody has any more questions, feel free to reach out to the planning office. Our number is right on these postcards, so feel free to reach out with any further questions. Okay.
Thank you. There's a couple of, at least one restaurant that's open down on Main Street.
Well, I did it before I came, but I will certainly be back here and it's a little bit further through town. Thank you all very much for having me.
Thank you.
You all have a great night.
Yeah, okay.
See you later.
If you want, gentlemen, like, have the floor now, let's go.
Yeah.
Go later.
So I had contacted Frank a week or so ago. We've been looking at our contracts where we were providing O&M services for water and wastewater. Costs for us have gone up immensely in the last 3-4 years. A lot of it being fringe benefits for our employees, labor for our employees. We had a big problem with turnover. We really had to raise our wages. Cost of vehicles, cost of tools, cost of just about it. I'm sure you guys have probably seen that in your own personal lives. Our goal as the authority is to break even on our contracts, not to make a profit, but we also can't be losing money. We are losing money on the town of Morris Town's contracts. It is costing us more to operate your system than we are charging you. I'm proposing an amendment to our contract to increase the cost starting January 1st, 2026. for the last 2 years of the contract. We want to give you 6 months' time to look at this, so you have plenty of time to discuss. I'm happy to come back and talk again. We didn't want to throw this on you, after you've already planned out your budget. I've had these uncomfortable conversations with a lot of municipalities throughout the Jefferson, Lewis, St. Lawrence County. I think this is the 11th meeting I've been to having this conversation, so I'm willing to take your questions. I really sharpened my pencil and tried to get it best I could, but I know these numbers are shocking, but the numbers are.
What are we at now? I was gonna say, what's our current contract?
Yeah, very big, yeah. Very big. So currently in total, it's
Oh, okay.
at the beginning of January 1st, 2026, under the old contract, the total amount would be 62,164.
2,100.
And our new proposal, the amendment to the contract, is a 56% increase to get you to $93,000 total. That's 17,000 on the wastewater side and 15,000 on.
For January 1, 26 through December is 49,000 for water. And you're raising it 44,000.
No, that's wastewater,
Oh, wastewater.
and that's water service. This is all.
So that's what it's going up to January 1.
It's going to 93.
What do we pay now? 60.
Total for water and wastewater is 62,000.
Oh, yeah. Fortunately, we had this before we work on our budget, so reality is reality, unfortunately.
I think we gotta have conversations before we just sign it, right?
Well,
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, somebody be working on the budget, we've had conversations with them, appreciate you coming, it's
One thing I did look at, I tried to see if. One thing we could take out of your contract to reduce the scope of services would be flushing hydrants and exercise mainline valves. That would be a saving of approximately $2,700 on the water contract.
Dean's trying to not catch it, let me catch his eye, so. And you know what, I don't.
You said 27,000, right?
I don't think we can put it, I don't think we can put any more on his.
Oh, no, the first one I just don't know, for $2,700.
Speaking of the hydrants, I was noticing today,
They got the hard down.
they need to be, they need to be painted there, they look pretty bad, just to look at.
Let's do an adopt the highway, or adopt the highway program. Serious.
Not to get off on a side note, but you remember when they were painted, it looked like soldiers or something, this is. Who was the art teacher, this up the other end of town, Slocum, she had painted them all at one time, so they looked like they had hats on and all of that. I'm sure the age. So, okay, apparently, no one has anything wrong with that.
You know how to get a hold of me if you have questions in the meantime, and I'm happy to come back to another meeting, so.
I'm gonna make sure that all the board members has that, so if they had any individuals.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
So we're jumping around, I realize we're jumping around a bit. So now we'll go to my and did you receive that? I did see the insurance piece from.
We did get it today, I have it right here, we got it in the mail. Certificate of liability for the museum.
Why don't you read off what is it on there, just basically.
It's the basic certificate of holder is named Town of Morristown. Each occurrence is up to 1 million, damages of rented property 100,000, medical expense 500, personal advantage or 1 million. General aggregated is 2 million and products is 2 million. So that is what was asked for.
And the phase are named.
And Chris and Lori have received their own certificate
Right, they-
of liability.
Well,
And the dates around that of the events, or is
They're not listed here, no.
Is it?
But this is
They only cover the dates. It isn't like like this many days, it's like 3 months or whatever, it's the days that
The,
of the occurrence.
the term,
Events.
the term of the policy is 6/1/25 to 6/1/26.
But so you know, it's covered the days of the events. Okay. With that, financial report, do you have one on that?
I do have some information to pass on about finances.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
There are several expenditure accounts that are over budget. For instance, in the general fund, there are 2 entries for garage expenses. One's over by $45,000. And that's something that I want to look into and be able to tell you why. At this point, I don't know. You don't happen to know, do you, Dean? So, you know, we're going through a transition with staff, and I think Kirsten's a super person in the position, but I don't know whether maybe an expense got posted to a number that we didn't budget it for. So we'll find out, we'll clarify that. And the other thing that I noticed is just typical business. Our insurance bill came in a couple of $1,000s higher than we budgeted. Just very routine. At the same time, we have some income that was not in the budget. Our sales tax receipts are running over budget. And controversial as our decision about allowing sales of cannabis in the town was, we've received through June $6,179 in taxes, excise taxes for the town because of that. And there was a class action suit that DANK filed on our behalf because they are managing our water district. And it was a suit, I believe, against 3M because there are microplastics in the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River.
I think, didn't we bring this up last meeting?
Did we cover that last time?
But anyways, but
It's about $28,000, and that'll go into the water fund. And we got a refund from prior year's expenditures of $38,000 plus. And I don't know what that is, I will look into it, but this is the balancing side. While there's some expenses that are surprisingly higher, there's actually some revenues this time. Now, we do have funds in CDs for most of our accounts, including general fund, highway, and the sewer districts, and I believe water is the only one that has no savings account beyond the checking account. But we've got negative numbers in checking for water district and sewer district number 1. It's not a lot of money. And we do need to clean that up by the end of the year. We pay everything out of a single account. And sometimes on the bookkeeping side of it, there's not enough money in that account for that unique district like the water district. So we will have to calculate for the overdraft and pay interest on that. And we'll use the market rates for what our CDs are with the bank. And this will just be a little bit of paperwork fussing that has to go on. It has to be actually cleaned up and resolved by the end of the year so that when we do our report to the state, it's clean. And as a separate issue, we have some expenses that are coming up with this water project with rebuilding the filtration plant and running a new line. And these things are not in the operating budget. We need to, as we did with the town barn, keep track of those expenses separately. They will be covered by the grant and loan that covers the whole water project. but we won't have any money to pay bills until we get
It is often the case that you pay up front and then you get recount.
That's
then you
right,
get compensated.
so we need to, or I'm asking the board to approve shifting $50,000 out of the general fund balance into this water fund construction. And we'll keep track of it and pay interest on it. So that we don't have to gasp and catch breath every time a bill comes in that is due and we need to pay.
And we will have to pay, and that fund will have to pay interest. on
Yes,
that.
that's right, it will.
From previous experience.
It will. And we are kind of, excuse me. We have a number of things that are not quite right on our financial statement as of June. You know, these accounts that are over budget. Because the state controller really says you ought to amend the budget before you disperse the money. I don't know that any of us really need to worry about that. What we've been doing works pretty well. We're not mishandling the money.
I think you could get into a lot of amending. A lot of amending if you.
Yeah.
If you took over.
But I will try to put together a list of budget modifications for the August meeting to try to bring this back into line again as of August. And I don't think that it means anything other than that we're cleaning up the paper.
This is probably an appropriate time for that.
Sure.
And it has to, you want to go ahead and.
Sure.
Everybody got it.
Yep. Well, this is a notice from Taylor Jennings about the fiscal advisor's report, which is one of the items on our agenda tonight. Dealing with the bank anticipation notes, and the fiscal advisors is the company that can get this thing financed. So that we have money in the interim before the bonds for the water issue are issued, or before the water project are issued. So anyway, Taylor Jennings says he wants to reiterate that the fiscal advisor's proposal that we'll vote on tonight is an eligible project expense. It was included in the total project cost for the water project that was previously prepared. Therefore, it's not an additional cost to the town or the water district. As far as the moving money into the water fund, I wonder if we could do that formally and record it in the minutes.
Did you have a conversation with Gary today that they thought that if they didn't address paying something immediately, that there'd be very adequate money in the water fund? Did you have that conversation?
I had that conversation and I'm very uncomfortable with let me turn it around and say, I would be much more comfortable really segregating the expenses and the payments for this water project.
I agree.
So that it's not mingled in with our regular money.
I just wanted to know that you had, that you.
Yeah, yes, I've been in touch with her and part of this is to really simplify and document the whole process so that we don't have to search for invoices and bills.
Well, it certainly worked well with the.
Yeah, then how much did we use for the water project versus how much was for regular water operations? So this is not an authorization at all to disperse any money. And we will vote on every individual action and sign the vouchers. But we're just moving money from one account to another. And given that occasionally we've forgotten the discussion after we had it.
Move separate. And use separate account just for the water.
Yes, yes, we will probably continue to use only one checking account. But we'll have a
Another
separate
line,
bookkeeping,
another line, that's what I'm going to say.
a separate bookkeeping account that
Yes,
show,
yeah, yes.
show all the records of
That's right.
transactions for the purpose. And so I'd like to just have this recorded in the minutes that we've decided to do it. And in order to get that done, I'd make a motion to transfer $30,000, or I'm sorry, $50,000 out of the general fund into a special fund for the water construction project.
Those are two items that you want, is one, both creating that account and then putting 50,000. Okay, so that's the motion. Creating that line, not a
Yeah.
line,
A separate water line.
Yeah.
For a new water.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll second that.
all right. Roll call, please.
Did you say you seconded?
Yes.
You beat me.
All right. David,
Yeah, I.
Chris,
Aye.
Sean, Frank,
Aye. The motion passes.
Chris, on that general of the highway, I just like to note that I'm pretty sure they paid for the retaining wall out of that was $37,000, that money was not covered. And I think they took down my general highway, and I told them that there wasn't enough money in there to cover that, so.
So
There was
my,
conversation of that between, I think, you and Carol.
yeah, my understanding, gentlemen, was that we knew that the COVID money wasn't gonna cover
Right.
it all. And that we were planning to use our fund balance to cover the rest of it. And if that is the intention, I'll bring you a proposal on in August. As a part of the budget mods to move.
Was our water sewer lines were there, right?
Right.
Shouldn't.
Well, sewer's below, but water's above the sewer's.
Well, what we did this to
Save the water.
save the water
Yeah,
and sewer.
out of that. Yeah.
Should there be a percentage of something there? I mean, that line feeds where, all the way down and around.
Yeah, I don't think you.
I'm just saying, why all the taxpayers gonna be paying for sewer and to
Right.
maintain a sewer and
Yeah.
water line?
Yeah, you could divide it. With the.
A percentage.
No percentage, I mean, and like I say, it's protecting the road too, I have no problem, but I think that's why I just wanted to.
What,
Why that was out for the.
Do you have an idea of
No,
percentage?
Yeah,
I don't know, I think we should look into
Third anyway.
users, and I mean, there's a lot of users that would benefit, I mean. Let's just put it this way, if we're broke,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
we gotta do something, I don't think all the taxpayers should be sucking that up.
So it's a third out of the town, third out of the water, third out of the sewer?
Sewer and something, do something, we gotta break up
I
something.
said the sewer doesn't go through there.
The sewer's below
Well, the older we get them.
that. Yeah, it's on the front, down on the base. But water, the two water main.
Two water,
So,
Yeah.
so sewer,
So
sewer should not be. Okay. All right,
So how about 50/50 water and town?
Okay, then I just don't wanna see all the taxpayers suck that up.
I understand.
Good point. You know, this is just a judgment call.
Yeah.
On something.
Not that our water budget.
Right.
Money in it, money in it,
like that,
but.
We just got that money, so there goes that money.
We
just got the money, all that left.
We haven't got that.
Oh, yeah, we gotta
Wait, I mean, I'm not 50/50 is a little, so
Yeah.
I don't
Wanna
know.
buy that.
Do you want to suggest anything else, David?
Well, like,
What do you think?
why wouldn't you, could I have, why wouldn't you do it percentage wise? This is this is all the taxpayers. This is the group of taxpayers that is affected by the
I
water.
don't want to district with that matter of fact.
Would that be more accurate? To me, it seems it would, yeah. Okay, I think we have a task to figure that out. Out the office. So we won't state a particular
Okay.
percentage tonight. So we jumped around here so much.
Super, I'm done.
I'm not sure where we are. We had the dank. All business has been all covered, if I corrected that one, but I know we didn't have a huge agenda tonight.
We're signing this agreement with fiscal advisors. Make a motion to accept this agreement.
You ready for that? Okay.
Nothing to say.
You're gonna have them.
We gotta have it, right?
Yeah,
I'll make the motion to accept this fiscal advisors.
motion has been made and seconded.
Okay.
Roll call.
Chris,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
Sean,
Alright,
Frank,
Aye. So the next slide. The next item. Is the appointment for the balance of 2025. For the town council member to, take the seat over there that Gary has always. Has filled for a number of years. I had reached out and I checked with the other board members before I asked. Anita, if she would serve, and I gave her. Some time to think about it. She got back to me and she said she'd be honored to fill out Gary's. 2025 commitment. So with that, we need, how do we put this in a motion for the appointment?
yes,
Okay.
make a motion to
I'll
appoint
make it,
him.
I make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Sean,
alright,
David,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye. So we will. Let Anita know that she will need to come in and be sworn in before the August meeting. I told her that I thought this was very much on the heels of Gary's demise, and we will be looking for her to be here tonight. So,
what's the next step we have to do for the election? In December?
you want to handle?
Yeah, the Republican committee in Morristown will select a candidate. That will go on the ballot, and the Republican committee will
That's-
enter that, that's me,
Okay.
and we will enter the name to the Board of Elections, and then that name will appear on the ballot.
Okay,
as
so if anybody asks,
As a Republican,
if anybody asks,
Reach out.
they
reach out
have
to
to
you.
call me,
Okay,
but it's gonna have to be done, we're at a time
I'm
frame.
gonna say how long,
We only have,
until the 20th.
15, 20 days.
I think it's.
is that something that should go on the website, or how's that work?
No.
No.
it was suggested that.
Yeah, that
We
could
had,
be.
we had a conversation with.
Yeah.
Over at the board.
It'll be on the ballot as an unexpired 2-year
As a
term.
2-year unexpired term, yeah.
It might turn into 3, you understand it's still up in the air?
No, because it's not an even year.
Oh,
Right,
So are we gonna be shorter here? Short,
I'm
to
sorry,
get on, we're on the odd here, will we be shorted?
that could change, but that was,
Oh.
this will still be a 2-year unexpired, and because of the dates. Because the law hasn't gone through, so that part could still change,
And
but
then the Democrats will do the same,
yes,
correct.
so
Yes.
what, is that you?
I'm not the town chairman, Adam Jarrett is,
So,
but I expect that there'll be discussion. I don't know what the conclusion will be.
There's been 3,
so within 15, 20 days, I gotta get going.
there's 3 people that
we don't even have that at this
Oh,
point, I mean,
okay.
There's 3
we gotta make the decision.
there's 3 people that I referred to. the
I've only
Democrat-
heard from 2,
Well, the other one is a Democrat.
no, I've still only heard from 2.
Well, yeah, but you're not gonna hear from the Democrat, are you?
I could,
Oh.
I could put a Democrat's name,
Right, but anyway,
chances are I won't, but I can. No, I mean, I could put anybody's name, as long as they're a registered voter,
right,
that's the key.
just saying I didn't expect you to hear from me.
I guess we've never been in this, so your committee, you have a committee,
Yeah,
so they would come and talk to you and.
No.
Your committee? No,
well, as of right now, we know everybody,
okay, okay,
so not necessarily,
right,
I mean, we can.
right, I didn't know I did it, I didn't know. the process.
There's 3 of them on the committee. You know, that me, myself and I. That's where.
No, don't do that to me, Frank.
So, well,
Okay.
we'll try to, of the sad situation, we need to move ahead. so with that, let's go to other business. There should be other department reports for the. We'll do the department reports, then we'll go to other business.
Oh. I just want to report that we are in the process of obtaining the .gov website. That's moving right along. Once that's done, the emails can be changed. I've had a lot of requests for birth and death certified copies for genealogy purposes. And another thing I've been having a lot of is marriage license requests, because people were getting their New York real IDs, and that was a necessity in order to get that ID. So we had a lot of those. I think you all should have received an email from me. The NYMER has just updated their training for sexual harassment, violence in the workplace. That's being offered on July 23rd. And it is mandatory that everybody take it, all town employees and board members. Shauna, you probably can just get us a copy of your certificate.
Get some white out.
And I just-
Get one.
And I just wanted to mention that we haven't heard any updates on the even year election.
And that update, when I was in Board of Elections, that's still looking later in the fall, so
Yeah.
that'll be a while.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Highway Department,
So everything's been going good.
was that a sigh?
Yeah, I wish it was just the highway department, cause then that part's going good, it's the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the highway department, so I did get, we were supposed to pave the week of the 20th. They are behind, so it looks like it'll be the last week, August 1st or somewhere in there. They gotta go to the city first, then go back down state and then come back up, so. Paving, we're on the schedule to get it done. Trucks are still not in. I just actually got an email from the pickup truck we ordered last October. That's still 2 to 3 weeks out. The truck we ordered in April of 22, that's the one that they wrecked the box on. They're still waiting for the box of that truck, and then we have the truck we ordered after the fire. Just a coincidence yesterday, actually one of the investigators called me on the fire. I don't know, they're still on the truck deal. He couldn't believe that we were done. I said, yeah, we done, have a new building. He's like, I don't understand why they called me, but they wanted some more information. I luckily still had it, gave it to the investigator. He said, he was fully apologetic. He goes, this is 2.5 years. I'm 250 fires beyond that fire, you know what I mean, to try and re-jog everybody's memory, and but he was good about it. So on the water side, as everybody knows, we've had some breaks. There was a good one up on Northumberland by Fran and Jean Colby's. That line is in pretty tough shape. We had a lot of trouble fixing it because it's a 6-inch water main and about a 10-inch trench. So to get down around it, we ended up jackhammering that night to get down around it. It is repaired. That is one of the mains in the project that will be replaced. I think that is going up to an 8-inch main. And it actually worked out good because they were here that day, doing the 3D visual of the water plant. So actually they came up and seen the rock and like what we were up against and knew what they were. So it was actually pretty good. They took some pictures. They are doing some bore testing. I know there's been a lot of questions around town when everything's spray painted. We had to mark everything, and then after we had everything marked, they come back and tell us, well, there's only 13 spots. I'm like, well, if we'd had just 13 spots, we would have had to mark everything in the town. It took us a week to do. But so I know Jill's had some questions on it. People are, especially on Riverview, you know, everybody I think's probably, I know I had a bunch when we were doing it. So if anybody sees anybody, that's only for sampling. They haven't, you know, project isn't even really kicked off or say a bid or even think about digging in the ground yet.
I think lesson learned when there's something like this happen. Yeah, we probably ought to put it out there because I
think it's a bit
how
out there.
come I didn't know?
And things are gonna happen and we're not gonna be aware that they're happening. I mean, we weren't told by the engineers that this is happening.
Well, as often as we can,
Yeah, for sure.
so we'll respond back to that individual.
So we still have one leak. We know it's at the condos.
My plan is to go down there tomorrow, basically prove that it is on their side. They've been very reluctant, so if they think we're still gonna fix it, I said we can't, it's like, it's underneath it right beside their foundation, Davey's been down there, heard it. You can hear it standing above at the ground, so.
Third floor. Is that why they shut the waterfall down?
So. I don't know what you wanna do for a time frame after basically I'll notify them tomorrow, I'd like Jill to, we'll get there, they must have a. The president down there, I guess, send them a letter, like stating that, you know. You
Yeah,
get
so many days.
so many days, I mean. We know what's
We
been
need
going
to
on,
do that. What do we wanna use for so many days?
that I don't know,
Let's,
but
let's, just, let's decide that right
I
now.
would say a diagnosis within. I don't know, how much water we're losing tonight.
I don't really know because it's been so with everybody, the 4th of July, it's been
Yeah.
so I mean, just everybody's been off, it's been sporadic on the water. It was crazy.
You'd have to go back to the history. wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, and because I mean, right before the 4th, we got that other leak fixed, and actually the plant is shutting off now, so I mean, we have kind of caught up a little bit, but then this week, Steve's like, "We're all water," and I'm like, "Well, you bring an extra 1,000 people into town, and you know, everybody has water slides up and different things, it's hard to tell, so, but. I mean, I'm thinking a couple of weeks would
That's what I was
be more than ample, you know, through the holiday now.
What do you do if they say?
Well, I think you need to put a time frame in there and we can shut their water off, I don't know. I'm not sure, you don't wanna be, I don't wanna be the person to shut their water off, but in the same token, we are losing a lot of money pumping
No,
chlorinated water.
no problem, we'll just tell you,
They just like me down there. The only other thing is I have on District 2, and every year it's 4th of July week, like. I am gonna change and talk to the guys, so normally, as everybody knows, we do a 4th of July week shutdown, it just doesn't work. I told them come January, we put names in the hat and have to split them up because we're just so busy on 4th of July week. And one thing I read through today on District 2, tons of people, I bet you I know I had 3 for sure, Gary said he had 2. First time up, I think they come up Memorial Day, whatever, well, 4th of July, everybody's up, next thing you know, the toilet's not working, well, guess what, they forgot to turn the power on again. So it's a trip for us in there to basically say, well, you need to turn your power on, so I think we should have a phrase in there like, you know, they forget to do this, cause it's already in every pamphlet we send out there. I think we should be able to back charge them. Cause all those guys do is go out there, they wait 25-30 minutes to pump it down, they have to reset it usually for a run time. Reset it again, and then it's good to go,
obviously, they,
because they left the power. And they've probably been up a few times, they hold a couple 100 gallons, so if they're up for the weekend here and there, but just always seems like 4th of July week, like I said, there was. So I think we need to visit that at some point before.
the next one slide on.
Yeah, I mean, we put a good pamphlet in there, I thought the last cycle, I mean, it's in there, I think in bold letters, do not shut the power. The winter time is not as bad, but these people, I don't know, they just shut it off.
Maybe the or,
Yeah,
or when they see the or and the dollar, that might know the difference.
they said that, I think we only ended up changing one pump out. And they had said they had a lightning strike and those things, the panels do not like lightning strikes. They said they felt like a lightning had hit close and it was only a few hours later, the alarm started going off, so we did change that out, that was fine, but other than that, it was basically because the powers were off.
Yeah. Let's say $100 fee or something.
You know,
They're paying a person 2 hours, right?
right, I mean, you guys coming
Yeah. Should we
If
do
I
it?
want somebody to fix my stove, it's $90 before they walk in the door.
in, yeah, that's what I, you know, I hate to charge for every little thing, but it's just kind of, maybe that'll wake them up a little
Common
bit.
sense, right?
Sure.
I'm all good for that.
Okay, so like I said, think about it, come up with a thing and make sure it's in the fall billing cycle, we just did a cycle.
I think you have the general gist of.
Yeah. The only other last thing I had is the generator.
I was thinking about that.
So I do have it back in my possession. Our mechanic Sean got it running, it does run, seems to run fine, I don't know how to test it. There was a fuel valve issue. Their engineers, I did speak to him today, their engineers would still like to look at it and load test it. I said, no
They couldn't
problem.
get it to run?
So when I picked it up before the holidays, cause I needed the trailer, they said that the guys, I don't know, they can't get it to start. But we had it back here in like 2 hours, Sean had it going. There was some, when they put the new injector pump on, they had some other valve shut off and, I don't know, whatever. So I really concerned about their capabilities, but, and I told him that thing, he's like, well, I don't know, there's been a lot of texts on it, well, I know, we've been on it for 8 months, you're doing this generator. So I did, the only one that got back to me was Cat on the price, it is 39,000 for one. Kohler, I actually talked to John, he was supposed to get a hold of some other sales guy that would get us a price on there. So that's about where we're gonna be if we decide to go that route or get this one fixed.
What's, are they gonna come low test
I
it
think
for
we
nothing?
have to review on water rates.
Right. They're supposed to see if they said it's running, he said he would load test. Well, one thing to keep in mind, I mean, they did say that, I mean, it's 25 to 35 weeks out for a generator, new generator.
It's amazing, isn't it?
So, he's supposed to let me know within the next day or so when they can come load test it now that we have it running. See if it will work. If it does, well, give us a little time to figure out what we want to do.
Yeah.
At this point,
So we paid any money for this?
I still have a $12,000 bill from the injector pump we haven't paid. And he knows that they didn't push the bill through. We paid everything up until this point. And he understands that.
So if we figure it's gonna run, we're gonna pay that 12,000.
Well, I think I should still in the question.
Yeah. Kind of hard to pay that 12,000 when you know what I mean, to know.
I know. I'm not
That's
gonna-
And that's a,
That's a third of the,
Confidence in-
that's a third of the new generator.
yeah,
That was a real character, my child.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that
So-
was,
like I told him, I said, even for now, if we could get it hooked up and run, and if there's. Like, if it won't work off the automatic panel, either way, the guy got to come.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we have to come in and put this with main with it. Like, it'll at least get us through to figure out what we wanna do later. That's what I, other than that, anything, if anybody has any other questions.
No, great job.
Thank you,
Yeah, well,
as always, Steve, we appreciate all your efforts. So with that, we will ask Lisa to take the floor.
Finally have some comments. They're nothing major on mine, just basically stuff like Luzo, other than that, just maintenance and repairs. On the, property where we had the public hearing, the last meeting, that has sold. So that should be off, getting demoed and hopefully rebuilt.
sold,
What's that?
the partner sold.
Yeah, it's not 100% final yet, but it's, in or got a good deal on it. So I will bring another property before you probably at the August meeting, try to keep going with them and get another one fucked off. I actually, in the last few weeks, have sent out probably 10 notices on vehicles. Apparently everybody's accumulating vehicles now and not mowing their lawns. So, the mowing of the lawns that,
They can't do that when they got the vehicles parked. up.
yeah, well, you can't see the vehicles as long, but, the lawns does fall under New York State property maintenance, not a town law, so that's, again, there's no enforcement criteria for that, because New York State doesn't put enforcement, really in there, so. It's one of those things where I can send a notice and say you're in violation, but. It is what it is at that point.
I think you're familiar with that from the village, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, it's everywhere, a lot of people aren't mowing this year, and like I said, I'm working on a few places here in the village, or old village that. Trying to get them to clean up, and that's, trying to find the actual owner is kind of their own nightmare, so.
And you had any luck with connecting up with that tombstone up in Briar Hill?
I sent another notice, I don't have a phone number or anything, so I just sent a notice.
Oh,
And but he responded the last time I sent him, so,
let's see.
yeah.
Okay. Do We thank you. Our historian, Ms. Lucas, she has a report before you. Did you
I
pepper her with
got
questions?
quite enthused about our schoolhouse. Because in June, I participated in a class from Morristown Central. And watched it, and I kind of got enthused, and I think the schoolhouse needs some work. And I have sort of solutions. I've been looking for volunteers to help me scrape and paint the exterior windows and door. And I'm also going to hold a open house on August 16th for 3 hours for people to come and view. The other thing I'm finding in need of that is we need a sign, because nobody seems to know where it is. So I'm trying to calculate and how to do this. I also want a new blackboard for it, but I don't want just a blackboard. I want a slate blackboard. So there's things I'm trying to do. I made my brother get me a few things out of his cupboards.
She's an Indian.
How big's the blackboard that was there? Or need, how big a one would you need?
How,
A blackboard, how big?
Size.
I don't feel it has to be very big, but it's better, what she has right now.
I've got one
there
of
is-
I almost have some down
Well,
there.
I have one in
You
my
must have
office,
some down there.
my old office that the kids had, used to
I
write in.
don't know, I've been there.
I mean, it might be 5 foot by 3 foot possibly.
And it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
that might work. I also wanna be able to use it more than once a year. I feel it's a really nice structure and it should be seen.
It is hidden, I mean, people don't know what it is.
we had a discussion today about that, Dean and I, about how hidden it is. And about Bob LaRock had suggested that there should maybe be a
Sign right there.
It would direct them up to the schoolhouse. Also, it's pretty. The foliage on the back street, it has it all enclosed pretty good. Obviously, the shop or storage building in front of it hides it, but there's nothing you're gonna do about that. That belongs to the people that own the house. But I think we can address trying to make it more visible.
One other thing that I'm really concerned about is where the historic sign is. It's like around the back of the school.
We found out that has to be there.
So that's what they said it had to be,
That's where they said,
the
okay,
historic,
all right.
yeah,
Cause that is so not visible.
yeah,
That's on
that's,
the backside?
yeah, well, because their thought was Governor Street
Oh.
looking down,
Yeah.
but,
Through the foliage.
yeah, that's.
Okay, but that was one of my concerns. But I've got a lot of volunteers that said they would help me paint and stuff, so the only thing we've gotta do is come up with a few bucks for some paint.
Well. You have money in.
I do, but I don't know how much. Cause I took over in April and I don't know how much was left in my
Should have been
fund.
a finance one.
Yeah.
Should have been a finance one.
I'll get that for you.
But that's some of the things I'm trying to do.
I buy it all the time,
It's
I
pretty decent.
suggested to her, maybe we have a board meeting there. When we opened the town hall or town barn, we had a board meeting.
Maybe do
Might be
one
kind of
like
neat
September.
in September in honor of opening school. Kind of neat.
The power of it, right?
It's a beautiful old building. It's
No
just,
power, nothing.
I don't
went
need
in,
power.
Cleaned it all and swept it and washed the floor and all that. So right now is the perfect time to start.
And it's all that roof, I mean, it's saved from a lot more damage inside and.
Right, it does need some painting inside, but that's not high on my priority right now.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Newton. So with that. Under. Other business. You wanna start this off with this, Chris?
I think on the,
This other business.
sure. I think that, I've talked with each of the town board members just to memorialize a discussion that we had about the, presentation of concerts next summer, starting in Bayside Park. And what we understand is that the museum will be allowed to close Water Street except to local traffic from Northumberland down to Ellis from 3 p.m. until 11 p.m. on the nights when there are concerts. And that the museum will be able to put up signs either on the morning of the concert or the day prior that would read, "The town boat launch will be closed on," fill in the date, "from 3 p.m. till 11 p.m. And those signs would be at either end of the closed section of Water Street. And the this should allow people to congregate on the paved area around the boat launch without having people backing in and pulling boats during the event. And I think that there's only one house that will be affected by the street closure, which would be Ricky's house.
Oh, yeah, Browns and Vicky's.
Browns and Vicky's. But we'll reach out to them and make arrangements so that if they want to get in or out, they can get in or out. And I really anticipate that this will be easier than it was on Main Street to keep it accessible to the residents, but closed to general traffic. And it's a much lighter traveled street anyway.
All right.
And Frank, you had included.
And what you should see in your packet, you should have, this started with David and I having a conversation. And him enlightening me that there was materials up back to the sewer plant. I don't know what that came from doing.
Right.
What came from you, okay. So that obviously you must have had plans for the village to do something with. And now we're proposing that we put a pavilion that can be used for these music events. And we spent time today, I'm gonna turn it over to you for the logistics of it.
Dean and I went down to Bayside and did measurements and stuff, and we feel that it's best if we put it right at by the dock in that
In that
area.
grassy plot.
Cause then you don't have to worry about setbacks and, it's all right there and it fits good, yeah. Cause over by the bathhouse.
I guess you're gonna have some cooker there, if somebody wanted to use it.
And that's, I mean, a lot of the, area, boat launches and stuff, they have now put in pavilions for,
Nothing's been
county
signed.
use, so it makes sense. And construction wise, it's pretty straightforward, especially if we already have the trusses.
And why we're particularly pushing it now, because of doing the blacktop. Coming up, any power.
Notice the conduits across.
Or there, that pole. Yeah,
I would tell you that the one thing that is noticeable is that, the memorial tree to Howard in this stone would have to be. I checked with Terry Family Greenhouse about moving it, actually took a picture, gave him a dimension, he said it's doable, but you would do it in the fall. If you're moving the tree, he got that to me.
To move it where?
Move it to the corner,
Oh, okay.
over to the corner. Towards the river itself there, and that is probably the biggest thing that we'd have to adjust for. I think in this, you'll see that I got my brother-in-law to do this. And you'll see that he made it to the dimensions of the material that we have. It wouldn't be utilizing all the material because. Wasn't the discussion that it would not be as deep?
No, that's if you went over by the back,
Yeah.
we had to shorten it up,
Yeah.
like, there wasn't the 40 feet there, but if you put it out in the center, you could make it the
Alright.
40 if that's what you want.
We're gonna keep it right in the front.
So,
Little setback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm going to suggest that. If we do this, that we consider, making this a memorial, structure to Gary. It's up to everybody's consideration. It's perfect that I brought it up without our new board members, so that you don't feel like you have to be candid about
Is this something? You know, is this something that town can build themselves, or is it, I mean, if you put it up for somebody to build it, it's gonna be quite expensive. But volunteer, I don't know. I mean,
You're gonna
put it
have-
out, if you put it out to have it put up, it's gonna be. What's the rate, all that stuff, right?
Right, so I had talked, I mean, I think there's a few other towns that would pitch in that have some pretty good carpenter done.
And also too, to put it through a grant application.
Yes, I wanna, that's why I'd like to put a number on it, because I wanna put it on that New York Forward.
But with the New York State grants, you're guaranteed to have to go through engineering and.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
So you're
That's what.
$10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me take that off the table.
typically that's a requirement on the New York State grant, so you might wanna.
I think we can get Chris Fade on stuff. Is that in the minutes?
Only on the recording.
You think the slab on grade, is that talking?
Yeah, that's what we talked about today. Just
One
kind of
thing.
close.
I would like to just suggest that the museum or whoever's gonna be in charge talk to Browns sooner than later.
Makes sense.
Because if it's later, word's gonna get around, it's gonna be totally different because words have gotten around with other things totally different. Talk to them now, just so it's ahead of time, with it being down
Right
there
on.
next year.
So we don't have.
Don't blindside them, do it now and get it over with. And then if there is issues, you're gonna know it, or if there's concern.
We just have to might move it down a little bit, you know.
What's
the closer.
Vicky's last name? Frank?
Hmm?
What is Vicky's last name?
Sabina.
Sabino,
Thank you.
but I just
Well-
think it's good to talk to them sooner than later.
My question is, do we have to? Does it have to, block them off? Where we wanna have it? Where we wanna have this venue?
If you go to Northumberland, it would.
Yeah,
If it's down on the water. And people can park down there. Do you have to, and we're not using the street.
I don't think you really have.
I don't
Block them,
really have,
block them.
I don't really think you have to close the street. People are gonna drive down there and park, right? I mean.
I think you have to close from, I think at least from the entrance to the boat ramp.
Yeah, right.
Because of that corner, I mean, I just think if you
Okay.
try to leave that street open.
But that should,
Oh, the corner by all.
but that should
Right,
address that.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's still good to let them know,
Yes.
because, yes, thanks, well noted, thank you.
So close it down to
Down to like,
the, oh, I'm sure.
yeah, the other side. And Chris, on your signs, I think if we could get like a smaller one, put like right at the boat launch, so somebody. You know, walking right up on the day that they're launching the
Yeah.
boat, like, hey, I gotta be in by 3 o'clock or.
Yeah.
Something.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, we'll probably end up using those sandwich boards.
Mhm.
And either, and you know, they're pretty highly visible,
Yeah.
but those would let us change the
Dates
dates
and
pretty easily.
That should be pretty easy stuff.
Oh, I think so, I'll get with.
Everything there.
Besides conduit and line bringing their own, cause we are gonna start that next week, so. I don't know that parking lot out.
One of the things that
Well,
was,
technically, we're supposed to use 2 months galvanized.
one of the
Oh,
things,
it's commercial.
one of the things that was
Underground.
noticeable with the music up.
You get down 2 foot. Sorry, Frank.
Or pour concrete over
One thing noticeable with the music up at the, was a good test for this. Because the acoustics are really rough, there's so much hard surface up there. So I think we can address that in a few different ways. Also, whether we put a ceiling in here, which also would
it. I would really like, I'd rather have a ceiling in it, cause the birds.
keep the birds out too, yes. So that could help a lot,
Yeah.
okay.
What would you put in for ceiling, just some white steel, or would that be
Steel,
too
so
much?
there's a pressure wash.
Yeah,
Would steel still be extremely hard
Echoey.
surface?
that's what I was asking.
These are gonna have nice place.
You're not gonna be able to eat off with cement. So,
No, definitely steel, sticky pressure washer.
okay, well, we'll address that, so.
But we're pretty good, just so next week when we start doing it, we're gonna put, and go across that parking lot.
Right.
Okay.
Great. Now we'll address the need with any power in that. Very good. One thing that did come up but it's for them to adjust to, and actually I'm gonna be a meeting here tomorrow night of promotions. And I'll make them aware that next year. We'll do this next spring, you're thinking, Kyle?
Well, whatever, see what falls, I mean, if everybody wants to go forward with it.
Well, all right. We're gonna have to know that they're not gonna put their lights on the river along there, they're gonna have to readjust. So,
But we'll plan for spring, because they've already probably planned for this year.
I got it.
You made that decision, you're on.
All right, is there any other business going forward to the board tonight? If not, I make a motion, we adjourn. The meeting is adjourned.
You got a rough idea, do you? Where we wanna come up, so we at least get it in the ground and
We might do
we'll have to
that.
dig and find it later, whatever.
We'll figure that out when we get there, we'll just. Or, measure off of where we are.
Oh,
Excuse
I know
me,
we've,
Sal,
I know we've closed down the meeting, but. I'd like to open it back up with just a few seconds. And that has to do with boats down there. If you read there, it talks about in the law. About a harbor master, there is no such person that exists. And I don't plan on doing it.
Well, I thought that's why they hired the extra person. Take care of that, and all that stuff.
I don't even think that was ever in there.
At least put some signs up, something down there, 24 hour.
There is, there's 3 big signs, Adam Jones gets going.
Now, you probably are a little more agile than I, so next time that we wanna put signs on boats. Since I've almost went down
Right
between.
there,
the boat-
there's 3 of them,
Oh, yeah, I remember that sign now. I didn't, yeah.
per order of town board.
And. What the law is, put it in a plastic thing and tape it down there, but that doesn't
Big
take,
boards there.
that doesn't take them out. That doesn't move them out, and it doesn't say that they're gonna come up and pay.
Just not-
Carol had that idea that we got.
It's just a look.
Doesn't that sound like Carol?
what's
So,
that? Cut the ropes.
yes, where I was thinking, put a big chain and padlock on, they'd have to come and pay, they couldn't get the boat away. But that's I'm sure you must have had that.
We're gonna get Frank a life jacket, so if he goes down there, all in, he's just.
That was a local law as of 2020, by the way. So I don't know if you had a harbor master then or not.
I think the village did for a while.
We did.
Yeah,
I thought that. it
Wasn't like 4 hours a day, remember?
Wasn't it
Six.
Herbie? Was Herbie?
Herbie was, but Ron was,
Ron, I just remember.
somebody else was in there too,
Ed Farrell was, I think, for a while, was he just
I said,
He was down there.
yeah.
I
We were
said,
kids, he kicked us out of there.
I said to Dean today that if we're looking very strongly at making a third full-time person. Not just the seasonal person, and with that'd be the responsibility would be monitoring that.
We might have to worry about the water and sewer first. Might buy.
One other question I have,
That's a lot.
is that unit down there for the pump house, does that work or whatever?
It does, so the piping is broke that goes out onto the docks, just one of those things that's on the burner, but, cause I mean, people do ask to use it. Not that it's a big money thing, but.
They ask to use it, but they don't pay.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody's used it, I think we've tried it a couple times, and that was it. Like,
Then I used to have to come and get.
you used to have to get tokens
Tokens.
and put in the thing,
We did it a couple times our first year with the boat.
yeah.
It worked fine, but after that, it
I
didn't.
think, yeah, I don't know, the high water, the line got broke that goes out to the river.
Oh, there is one thing I forgot, we are the. Gotta think of the acronym. The LWRP, we are reapplying with the new.
Oh.
Wanted the board members to be of that. The other thing I would say is we've had a good response on the grant application for New York Forward. I think we've got eight or nine possibility of people that are interested in participating in that possible grant. So I thought you'd be interested to know that.
I would say if we know who the votes are, send them a letter, responding.
Well, it's just been a day. You just put them down there, right?
Yesterday.
So what do you think is fair?
Couple days.
Couple
I
days?
think they would back that.
I know when we did it last year, they came right up and paid and they moved the boat immediately. They had found dockage.
The gentleman, you gotta find, excuse myself.
Yes, the meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.
How did Gary die?
I'm sorry?
How did Gary die?
Yeah.
He had gone into a hernia operation. Never really recovered from it. He had
Was it nursing home?
It was. They had a rescue call there in February and they took him right to Utica. That's where he had surgery. He was in the hospital for 15 weeks. Yeah. Thank you. Lots of ups and downs and he couldn't.
Because I only saw him.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah.
You guys are right now.
It's probably more than that.
Yeah, he had gone into that area. He ended up having a fight.
Tricky, how to make it.
Hi Sherry, have a good night. Bye. Yeah, he was in rough shape.
Yeah.
Or they got the guy going in 3 different directions.
Yeah, he was.
That's not, we got heard the day.
When's the last time we had a bank report?
June.
Oh, not recent.
Recent, yeah.
Oh, no. I didn't even get back.
Yeah.
Or so,
All right.
Yeah, so that.
Hope you're on.
that's- Yeah.
Should ask Molly if
It's
she would-
kind of odd today coming in here, cause usually he's in the parking lot waiting for me. And so when I came in, I was like, well, it's kind of odd, you know, and just kind of,
Well, you got that.
yeah,
Little things you.
yeah,
Sure.
and getting the packets ready, you know.
That's it?
Yeah,
I mean,
he'll be missed,
but
but they appointed his wife to fulfill his term for this year until December.
What's her name?
Anita,
Oh, that's the Anita. That's what I was gonna ask you.
yeah.
I was like, Anita who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sherry was the one to fill.
Yeah, he's always just like a flex, huh?
Okay.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
makes much more sense.
yeah.
Because I was trying to,
You see another.
Yeah.
Plug in the
mark
holes,
over
hoops.
there,
how does she know?
There's supposed to be charges for that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I mean, that's where, you know.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah,
We're doing like 30-some thousand this year and another.
All right, until next time.
yes,
Thanks for your interest in showing up.
yes, I
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
it. If you have any questions, give me a call.
I
Okay, good.
I find that. It was useful to chit chat.
They do that, they do that.
But stuff like that, I hadn't.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, yeah. And we didn't, you know, like, probably put a post on the website out of respect for the family.
I think it's to come up here and do testing. I don't know, that'd be a.
Because I see it, I tend to see in,
Oh,
post
sorry, to get the license.
So
Where that guy's sick for.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
hours.
Post more there.
yeah,
They have another guy.
Cause that everybody can stay there.
right, yep, that's one of our major posting places is at the post office. Yeah, it's something like that.
Oh, no, that's good, 'cause it took me to, I was getting
There's a lot.
Monday to the meeting,
Oh,
and today's my wife's birthday. And so-
oh, and you chose to come here? Oh, my goodness.
The dog house. She.
Yeah. Oh, have a good night.
You could have offered to take her up, brought her here.
You know, I mean.
They go to Hosmer's and-
And then the kid license is like. You know, 3 years. You know, that's why it's getting so.
Oh, you did? He was 15.
I don't know, I'm not saying.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
I-
saying.
Yeah, well, last time it was here, right, we're paying. This is not, I was small, this is good. I can't small.
And the thing is, not, I mean, they're not really like all paid, that's right.
Did you see the?
I know they.
General.
You can say, I mean, they lost 3 good guys. I think one of the city water down, get us some other. Some of those out of state.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I can almost take the range of that. 117.
In a year, I mean, you're jumping that much that fast, that's, what's that gonna reflect on rates?
Oh my gosh, you see. That changes it.
It does. We hope, well, all we can do is make.
I had my little granddaughter dancing, last year's.
Yes.
I
Hopefully
That's
that's,
gonna be bug as hell.
well, down at the launch, you think?
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's no perfect.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's, I wonder if somebody had a gun. Under your head type thing, for drugs and stuff.
Well, it was a threat of lawsuit.
I know, that's what Trump acts like, see, it's.
Yeah. Works for him, that's what it's.
Yeah, sadly. Is there any discussion, about suspension bridge?
No. It's not, it's,
Do you think it's
No.
not?
well, even a walking bridge is,
No, that's all.
yeah, but it's way beyond any financial abilities of us.
Really,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Cause I think the suspension bridge could be done, but at a modest cost. I know the Swiss do it, I've worked with Swiss for 10 years, and they do it so just like this. Really at modest cost. And it
What's
it
modest?
would connect the.
What's
community.
modest?
Well, Switzerland costs are higher than here. But still like probably 30,000, something
Well,
like that.
well, put it together and bring it to the board. Honestly, seriously.
It would make things nicer, reconnect areas cut off.
Yeah.
I like Bay Street, but I don't like going.
Do you know what
Yeah.
we're dealing with right here too?
Well, I know this is where the harbor,
Right here.
oh, there's a pipe.
There was a pipe and they put all this fill over the top of it. To hold it down. That's gone. And they took they just paused it all off. They could have easily reached over there and taken that out, but they didn't. It wasn't in their scope of their work, so it's still there. So I'm working, trying to figure out how to get that out.
Well, not only that, I think this should be. Possibly considered stretched out, and that's